besides declaring, or rather disclosing that Kibaki is personally my hero, let me reminisce, just like everybody else, how I got to know the late President Mwai Kibaki.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I ever set eyes on President Mwai Kibaki, I was a very young boy. And I was in Kericho those days.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to play lawn tennis. I still do. I'm a player. And as we were playing lawn tennis, the court was very near a lawn, a grass lawn that's near there. So I hit the ball and it hit Mwai Kibaki.
No way.
At a place called Tea Hotel.
Yeah.
So when it hit him, he just took the ball and walked casually to me and handed the ball back to me. So I looked at him and I saw this Mwai Kibaki whom I had hit with the ball.
Yeah.
But he didn't even say anything. He just smiled at me and started to walk away and didn't even say a word. And that moment registered in my mind. And all the time I remembered that I hit Mwai Kibaki, the minister, with a tennis ball when I was playing. Then fast forward, I had admired him all the way along.
Yeah.
And especially after that encounter. Then when he ran for president, I happened to have been just starting up my business, and those days I was in Dandora, here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And I remember one day when he was coming to campaign in Dandora, I took it upon myself and climbed on top of a wreck of a matatu to make sure that he saw me cheering him on,
Yeah.
with that memory that we had. And I really cheered him because I wanted him to win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the time he lost. Yeah, he didn't win, and I was as sullen as most of his supporters then. Then our third encounter was even more dramatic because then I had grown a bit of my political skills and muscle, and I was out in public business.
Yeah.
So one morning, as I was doing my things, there was a huge group of Mount Kenya leaders, comprising of eminent persons, retired Bishop Peter Jenga, other eminent business people, elderly people, not my age. And then I just happened to have been somewhere around Sagret Hotel very early in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I saw them. They were led by a good friend of mine who later became one of my good business mentors, called Mbugwa. Then these guys were planning to go to State House just before the 2017 elections. Mm. And when they said they're going to see Kibaki, I implored them, please take me with you.
Yeah.
I want to go and talk to Mwai Kibaki. Because then I was having a big problem with what was happening, because I could see and feel the mood that we were not doing well, on ground. There's something that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And that was had to do with the president's own intervention. So they said, no, you are not on this list. Mm. So, in State House, when you enter State House, the list is read and you enter by name. How can you come? So I insisted. Yeah. And then my friend Mbugo said, okay, fine, come. If they allow you in, well and good. I told along. Yeah. We got to State House, and somehow I found my way in, and we went together. Yeah. So as all the wazes were sitting, there was a young man here sitting in the middle of the wazes, and Bishop Matthew were there. So just to give you a perspective of the kind of people who are there. And then I'm sitting, they just talked to the president, they talked, they read memorandums that they had, and it was feeling good. Yeah. And the president was reassured that we are doing well. But then I said, that is what I know I have to tell the president. So when they had all finished, I said, Your Excellency, Mr. President, can I say something? Yeah. So I looked at Mwai Kibaki in the face. And all the wazes froze, because they're wondering, what has this guy who we don't even know what his agenda is, what does he want to say? So I looked at the president in the face, and I told the president that, Your Excellency, you're not going to win this election. And they all froze. I told him, you're not winning it unless you come out of State House and you come and go and talk to the people. Because what you have as information, including some of the memorandums that have been read, do not depict the actual situation. Because it is true, you have done well, you have raised the prices of milk, you have given free education, maize prices now are higher, and all those good things that you have done. But one thing that is missing is you have to come and talk to the people and tell them yourself, not somebody else on your behalf, that you want to be president. And he looked at me twice. He kept quiet. We left, and all the wazirs, who are also my friends, today, they all froze. They said, what is wrong with this young fellow? Who don't even come to say this thing? Then after that morning, the following day, I met with Mwai Kibaki while I was on top of my vehicle at Kikuyu flyover when he was heading to the ground. And he started his tour, and I waved at him and urged him on. And he went and hit the ground and went around the whole country. And that is how he got his presidency. I believe that was one of the things that, got people to turn out. And so he's the one person I've admired all my life. I have liked and loved, and I believe if you listen to the mood of all the Kenyan people as they stream to, pay their last tributes to him as he lies in state in parliament, I think the general quiet mood and resolve of the entire country is that we are going to rest a good man. And that man is worth our respect. And indeed, what he has done and has been and has shown and immortalized in our minds and souls is that it is possible to have true servant leadership, that even at the level of president, you can be selfless, you can be non-self-seeking, you can be detached and dispassionate about enriching yourself and serve your country and do a good job. And I believe that is one image and one mentality. It's a philosophy that I think we should inspire our young upcoming leaders to copy from Mwai Kibaki. Every time when I listen in Parliament, when those that served with him long are speaking, and I've listened to guys like James Orengo many times, and Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, we served together in the first Senate. And every time when they spoke about Mwai Kibaki, they spoke so well of him. How he would never entertain gossip, how he was resolute, how he would delegate power to a cabinet secretary and tell him, go do your work and only bring me results. How the gentleman never at any one time cut a deal with anyone to benefit himself. And I think those qualities put together. And lastly, let me also remember how I came to learn how he did the Thika superhighway. And one of the most amazing things is that if you remember, Trevor, and most of us do, there is no single day when you saw Mwai Kibaki going there to try and claim self-accolades that he has done the country proud, he has built a big road, he has done whatever. I mean, people came to muse themselves when they saw what kind of work he had done once it was complete, and they were getting lost on a highway that they didn't even know how to use. And what we are saying is that if leaders could emulate the late President Mwai Kibaki, this country would be a big country. It would be a great country, would be successful. And I believe and I hope that is what personally I'm working towards, and I've always aspired to be, and that is what I intend to be in the course of my leadership.